Hey guys, Darren here. Welcome to Mayhem Country Living. What are we talking about today? Well, first we're going to get the bug off my damn face. There, jeez, damn it. Okay, now, that's better. Spring service for your equipment. Lawn equipment, to be specific. That actually kind of rhymed. But what I want to talk to you about today, and a lot of times I don't speak from a position of authority. I speak from a position that I did something stupid. And I want you guys to not do what stupid I do. So, spring servicing of your equipment. This is our riding mower. Spin you around, show you this one. Forgive the squeaks. This is our 2014 Troy-built Bronco. 20 horsepower, Kohler Command. Yeah, it's not the best motor, but it works for us. 42-inch cut, and it's been pretty dang good. This is the one that we fried the battery on, and the jumper cables, old cables, which are right there, you'll see them. Fried it somewhere in between in the wires, so it is dead. But got a new battery and cranks up and runs like a champ. And as I was cutting grass on the way back out by the shooting range, I was cutting and then all of a sudden it started doing a oh lordy Jesus vibration. And that's kind of what I do for a living. And I want you to look at those blades down there. And you'll see one blade is significantly shorter than the other. Those are called gator blades. And those things work marvelously for mulching as well. I lost 3 inches off the end of it. It finally slung and let go. Now, in the grand scheme of things, well, that means, Darren, all you have to do is go to Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, hardware store, buy 2 new replacement blades. But since I have not replaced these blades in years, what would happen if a kid had been out there beside that thing? That would have been a 3-inch piece of shrapnel that would have penetrated 3,600 RPM, slinging like that. I'm going to say that would stick pretty far into a piece of 1-inch plywood, which is considerable. So there's something to think about right there, guys. More coming. Okay, guys, now we're back. So that's why I say I speak from a position not of telling you how to do this because this is how it's supposed to be. This is the oops, the bad things that I have done, so you guys don't do the same thing. So what we're going to do is replace these blades. It's easy peasy, 15/16 top and bottom on these spindles, so it's not really hard. I use a breaker bar and a 5-foot cheater just to handle the rough stuff, and then I use a box end wrench on the spindle. So I'll show you how I do one. I do use the ones being the blades with the star shaped. I'll show you. Spindles in the center. This helps lock them in place. More to come, guys. Okay, guys, now we're back. You might not be able to see me too well because of that glare, but I did want to show you this star. Okay, if you are replacing blades, ideally you want to have a star pattern on these guys, because on your spindles there is a star pattern that allows these to lock in place, and then you get a larger washer as well as a locking nut, and these lock into place and make it a lot safer. The back of these blades turn upward and they would face the top of the deck, and these would spin around like this. I have put them on upside down more than once, and that is just a bozo no-no because it don't cut good, but you'll figure it out after you've cut it 3 times and you finally figure it out. But replacement blades are about 12 for 2 packs, $32, where I got it from Walmart. You can buy them individually, but I thought it has been so long since I have bought new replacement blades that are patent and free of cracks or imperfections. It was time to do it because the fact that we are so far out here and so far removed from honest to goodness civilization and medical resources, it's always a very sobering thing. Say you're working on a ladder and you fall off the ladder, you break your arm. Well, it's about an hour for EMS to get out here. That is when they give a damn. And not saying that they don't give a damn, it's just depending on their load and what the situation is and how everything is going. So you need to be very careful when you are out here on your own. I have to say we're actually looking at a property where we are even further removed, which is actually pretty dang good. But I'm going to show you. We're going to get this guy set up, spin you around. 15/16 top and bottom, and we're going to get everything situated here. There we go. There's that. Hope you can see it. And got it on correctly. Make sure it's in place. And remember, as you're threading it, the threads are going to actually be backwards because you would be looking at it, tightening it. So, there we go. Just make sure you line it up in the star pattern. And once you've done it and you've taken it apart, you'll see what I'm talking about. This is a box end, open end, 15/16. This is a standard size wrench for those of you who aren't quite familiar with it. 15/16 socket. It's a 1/2 inch drive, but it's actually a breaker, not a drive. This means I can get a lot more torque on it, and we just have to get everything lined up. Got it lined up on the bottom. I'll take that box end. Now, a lot of you guys have done this for many years, and y'all have done this more than I have. My first channel was nothing but small engine repair, and it was pretty cool, and this was kind of the stuff I did. Gotta get the bottom lined up. More to come, guys. Okay guys, I want to show you this. You see that right there? Right here. The paint peeled up and rolled off right here by my finger. That's a stress fracture from the amount of violent impacts because of the imbalance that was going on to the system. That's bad. But I have a welder. We can weld this thing back up. I want to show you something else here. Again, stress fracture. Again, this is because of the violent impacting from the imbalance that was going on with this system. This is kind of what I do for a living. You'll see Again, stress fracture. This is all from the past couple of days. Now what I will do is straighten this up. I'll heat it up a little bit, straighten this up, put a bolt in there, and I will weld that bolt into place right there, and that will be as good as new. Now we're going to spin this blade around and make sure we don't have any impacts or anything like that. And oddly enough, it spins and looks pretty damn good. And I will show you. Sometimes you got to bleed for your art. Damn old man skin I'm getting. It does look like I have to replace a cotter pin and a keyway on this other side, but then we will be ready to crank this thing up. And the areas that we cut with this thing, there are a lot of rough areas and rough patches, so the deck is sacrificial pretty much. A bare deck is probably 120, 130 bucks. Spindles are 30 bucks a piece. So you have to be judicious with what you do with these things. Ideally, if you live on a property like this, you need 2 or 3 mowers. Maybe one for rough cut, one for good smooth cuts, and then a push mower for real fine stuff around the household, which is what we have. But right now, as luck would have it, every damn thing we have is down except for this thing. So away she goes. I'm going to get on the other side, fix this cotter pin and keyway. We'll get this thing cranked up. More to come. That is the cotter pin and assembly I was talking about. It looks like all we need to do is replace that, and then we will be spiffy. And knock on wood, as long as we didn't break one of these ears. Some people call these ears or tits on these spindles. These each have 4 bolts, ears or tits, like I said. And as long as we did not break any of those, which does not look like we have any stress fractures, the belt is in good shape. This is aluminum. I don't have anything that I can weld the aluminum. I can weld steel all damn day, but I don't have anything to weld aluminum at this moment. So we're going to get that pin in place and get this guy cranked, and we will have us a moment, and we'll see how well it works. More to come, guys. Alright guys, so that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Remember, it's a good idea to do the preventive maintenance before this kind of stuff happens. Again, I always think worst case scenario, my grandkids or somebody else's grandkids. What would have happened if they had caught that piece of shrapnel in their leg or something like that? So it's a very sobering thought, but it reminds us of how very careful we need to be, because we now have equipment at our access that can maim and kill if you're not careful. Just something to think about, or be aware of, and just take precautions for. Now, like I said, don't be like me, be smart. Anyway guys, in just a second you're going to see a picture of my ugly bug pup over here, as well as my beautiful wife on the opposite side. Going to be some videos if we are indeed your brand of wacky. Guys, take care of you people.